You have probably done this before. You decided it's time to get in shape. You cut your calories, you start going to the gym, you're feeling motivated, and for the first 2 or 3 weeks, it's actually going pretty well. Then energy tanks, the hunger kicks in, life gets in the way, and before you know it, you're right back where you started. Maybe even heavier than before. That's not a willpower problem, that's a sequencing problem. And today, I'm going to show you the phase that most people skip entirely. The phase that actually sets the foundations for every result that comes after it. It's called a priming phase. Before we ever talk about any fat loss phase, before we talk about building muscle, before we talk about performance, there is work to be done. And if you skip this part, which most people do, you're essentially building a house on sand. The priming phase is about one thing. It's about raising your averages. It's about creating a new normal, a point of no return, where the habits you build here make everything that follows not just easier, but actually sustainable. And here's the thing that might surprise you. On average, the people that I work with lose somewhere between 8 and 12 kilos just from this phase alone, before we've even touched any calorie target, before we've gone anywhere near a traditional diet. So let me walk you through exactly how this works. Let's talk about the yo-yo pattern, because if you're watching this, you've probably lived it. Most approaches to fat loss, they go like this. It's drastic calorie cut, it's new training program, it's new rules, it's new everything, all at once. And it works for a while, but there's a problem. You haven't changed the environment you're living in. You haven't built the habits that make those new behaviors automatic. You're running on motivation and willpower, and both of those are finite resources. So when motivation fades, and it always fucking fades, there's nothing underneath it. There's no structure, there's no habits, there's no support. The whole thing collapses and you drift back to where you came from. The priming phase exists to fix that. Instead of forcing a massive change all at once, we build the foundations first. So when we do go into a more focused phase, everything is already in place. You're not white-knuckling it, you're just following a system that's already become a part of your life. You think of it this way. Before a Formula One car goes full speed, the team runs through every system. They don't just put the driver in, floor it, and then hope for the best. The priming phase is essentially your systems check. The priming phase is not a diet. It is not a training program. It is a habit building protocol, and it has several pillars that will build simultaneously. Let me take you through each one. Pillar number one is meal structure. The first thing we work on is not what you eat. It's when you eat and how consistently you eat. Most people have no real structure around food. They're eating when they're stressed, when they're bored, when food just happens to be in front of them. Before we touch macros or calories, we establish a consistent eating structure. 3 meals, roughly the same time each day, that's it to start. But why does this matter? Because structure removes decision fatigue. When eating is automatic, you're not relying on willpower every single time. And when you do move into a fat loss phase, adjusting a structured routine is 1,000 times easier than trying to impose order on chaos. Your takeaway? Pick 3 meal times. Write them down, stick to them for the next 2 weeks, regardless of what you're eating. Just the structure. That alone will start shifting things. Pillar number 2 is protein. Once structure is in place, the next lever we pull is protein. Not macros, not calorie counting, just the protein. We're aiming to include a quality protein source in every single meal, whether it's eggs, chicken, fish, beef, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, whatever works for you. The target is to feel like you're eating more, not less. Protein will keep you full, it preserves muscle, and it naturally crowds out that less useful stuff. Most people who've yo-yo dieted have chronically undereaten protein. They've cut calories by eating less of everything, including protein, which means they've lost muscle alongside fat, which tanks their metabolism, which makes the next diet even fucking harder. We stop that cycle right here. Your takeaway. At your next meal, add a protein source if there isn't one already. Don't remove anything, just add. Do that for every meal this week. Pillar number 3 is daily movement, or your step count. Before we worry about training, before gym programs, before structured workouts, we look at how much you're moving throughout the day. Step count is one of the most underestimated variables in your health and body composition. It doesn't feel like exercise, which is exactly why it's so powerful. It's sustainable. It doesn't require recovery, and it stacks up over weeks and months in a way that formal training alone cannot replicate. We look at where you are currently on average and we nudge it up. If you're averaging 3,000 steps, we aim for 5,000. If you're at 6,000, we go to 8. Small, manageable increases, not a sudden jump to 15,000. That's impossible to maintain. Again, a simple takeaway for you is to check your step average for the last 7 days. Whatever it is, add 1,000, maybe 1,500. Do that over the next 2 weeks. Super simple. Pillar number 4 is sleep. This one gets skipped constantly and is arguably the most important. Poor sleep drives hunger, specifically cravings for high calorie, high sugar foods. It tanks your energy, which means you move less throughout the day, it impairs recovery from training, and it makes every other healthy behavior harder to maintain. We're not looking for perfection, we never are. We're looking for consistency. A consistent bedtime, a consistent wake time, keeping the room cool and dark, and limiting screens in the hour before bed. Small changes that compound. Again, a simple takeaway for you is set a consistent bedtime and wake time, even on a weekend, for the next 2 weeks. That single change alone can dramatically shift your energy and your appetite. Pillar number 5 is hydration. Dehydration is chronically underestimated as a cause of fatigue and hunger. Most people are walking around mildly dehydrated most of the time, mistaking thirst for hunger, feeling sluggish in the afternoon, and then reaching for caffeine or food when what they actually need is water. We set a simple daily water target, typically around 2.5 to 3.5 litres, depending on your body size and then activity levels too. And we build the habit of hitting that consistently. Super simple takeaway. Get a water bottle that holds at least a litre. Fill that in the morning, finish it before midday, fill it again. That is most of your target handled without even thinking about it. Pillar number 6 is training. Far from the first thing on the list. In the priming phase, we're not optimizing training for fat loss. We're building the habit of training. There is a massive difference. We're looking for 2 to 3 sessions a week of resistance training. Not because that's the perfect stimulus for fat loss, it's because it's a frequency most people can genuinely sustain without burning out, getting injured, or then dreading the gym. We're making the gym part of your identity, not a part of a punishment. It's compound movements, it's progressive overload, it's simple, it's consistent, and that's it. A super simple one. If you are not already training, commit to 2 sessions this week. Not intense, it's just about showing up. The habit of getting in matters more than the actual session right now. Pillar number 7 is the support environment. This is one people overlook the most, and it can quietly derail everything else that you do. Your environment, so who you spend your time with, what food is in your house, what conversations you're having, has a massive influence on your behavior. If your home is full of ultra processed foods and the people around you are actively or even passively undermining your goals, building habits becomes exponentially harder. We look at this practically. What's in your kitchen? Who needs to know what you're working on? Where do you need to set some boundaries or have some conversations? This isn't about blaming anybody. It's about setting yourself up to win. Another super simple takeaway is do a kitchen audit. You don't have to throw everything out, but move the stuff that doesn't serve you to a harder to reach place. Make the good options front and center, like literally right there so you can see it. Your environment shapes your decisions more than you can think. Pillar number 8 is stress management. Chronic stress is one of the biggest hidden drivers of fat gain and then retention, specifically through cortisol. It drives cravings, it disrupts sleep, and it makes sustainable habits much harder to maintain. We don't expect anyone to eliminate stress, but we do look at basic practices that create a buffer. A short walk, a few minutes breathing, reducing caffeine if that's driving anxiety. We identify the biggest stress sources and build simple responses to them. Again, a simple takeaway for you is identify your top 1 or 2 stress triggers this week. Don't fix them, just notice them. Awareness is always the first step. From there, you can start to think about building responses. Here's the thing about all these pillars. They don't exist in isolation. They reinforce each other. Better sleep means more energy for movement and training. More movement means better sleep and better appetite regulation. Better protein intake means better satiety and better recovery. A cleaner support environment means fewer decision points. Less stress means better sleep. It's a compounding system. And when all these things start to align, even imperfectly, something shifts. Your body gets more energy, your appetite regulates, your cravings come down, your mood improves, and your weight starts to drop without a formal calorie deficit, without anything being off limits, and without white knuckling it. This is what we mean by raising averages. The priming phase lifts your baseline so that by the time we do go into a focused fat loss phase, you're not starting from zero, you're starting from a place of momentum. So how long does this take? The honest answer is it depends. For most people, the priming phase lasts anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks. Now, that might sound like a long time if you're eager to get into a proper cut, but remember, people are still losing between 8 and 12 kilos in this phase. And more importantly, they're building the infrastructure that means the results actually last this time. The milestones we're looking for isn't a number on a scale. It's the point where these behaviors stop feeling effortful. When the meals are structured automatically, when hitting your steps is just what you do, when training twice a week feels like a normal part of your week, not a fucking heroic act. That's when you know the foundation is set. That's the point of no return. And that's when we move forward. So, wherever you are right now, I want you to take one thing from this video. You don't have to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. Pick one pillar from what we've covered today. Maybe it's sorting your meal structure. Maybe it's adding protein source to every meal. Maybe it's getting to bed the same time every night this week. Start there. Build one habit until it's automatic. Then add the next. That's the priming phase in practice. It's not drastic. It's not extreme. It's just consistent, compounding progress. So if you found this useful, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people find this content. And if you want to go deeper into any of this, drop a comment below and let me know which pillar you're starting with. I'll see you in the next one.